In a world where the noise of daily life often drowns out the whispers of our inner spirit, have you ever paused to consider the unseen currents that shape our choices? We navigate a landscape of dazzling abundance, of endless aisles and enticing promises, believing we are in complete control. But are we truly the masters of our decisions, or are we being subtly guided by forces we neither see nor understand? This is not a fable, nor an exaggeration to provoke fear. It is an invitation to awaken, to cultivate a profound awareness that bridges the seen and the unseen. We exist in a time where the veil is thin, where the mundane and the sacred are not as separate as we have been led to believe. The most pervasive illusion of our age is that our spiritual well-being is detached from the ordinary acts of living, from the places we frequent, the things we acquire, and the energies we welcome into our personal space. Yet, every choice carries a resonance. We enter these vast marketplaces to nourish our bodies, but in some, we may unknowingly starve our souls. These are not merely shelves of goods, they are corridors of intention, built on principles that can either elevate or ensnare our consciousness. The challenges to our spirit do not always appear as dramatic obstacles. More often they manifest in the glitter of consumerism, in the allure of convenience, and in the seductive lull of the ordinary. Today, I wish to share a perspective that may challenge what you have taken for granted. This is a journey into the heart of our everyday choices, an exploration of how our modern temples of commerce can be fertile ground for a different kind of battle, a struggle for the clarity of our own minds. This is not to sow fear, but to empower you with awareness. Let us first consider the temple of overwhelming abundance, the vast warehouses where goods are piled high to the heavens. On the surface, it speaks of prosperity, of limitless options, of a world without scarcity. We are drawn to the spectacle of more, the promise that a full cart will lead to a full life. Yet, buried beneath the sheer scale of it all, a subtle spiritual imbalance can take root. When we are constantly surrounded by an ethos of excess, we are not just being sold products, we are being conditioned into a state of perpetual desire. A mindset that whispers, more is always the path to happiness. This stands in contrast to the timeless wisdom that teaches us contentment and the profound richness of simplicity. True wealth is not found in the endless accumulation of possessions, but in the freedom from wanting more. In these massive halls of consumption, a palpable pressure can be felt, not from the crowds, but from a pervasive energy of overconsumption. It is a spirit that preys upon our fear of lack, our pride in acquisition, and our tendency towards gluttony for things we do not truly need. While not every item is imbued with a negative essence, the overall atmosphere can become a fog, a gentle but persistent pull away from the serenity of inner peace and towards the restless shadows of materialism. Now, let us turn our attention to the familiar neighborhood market, the one that promises a safe way to provide for our families. It presents itself with a welcoming facade, with cheerful lighting and the soothing soundtrack of everyday life. However, for those who cultivate a sensitivity to the energies that surround them, a sense of discord can often be perceived. Look closely at the messages that greet you at the entrance, the publications, the promotions, the subtle symbols woven into the fabric of the store's environment. Are they in harmony with a life of virtue and clarity, or do they subtly champion a worldview that distracts from our spiritual path? Deception is often most effective when it appears innocuous, when a space feels so normal that our inner guard is lowered. A name may promise safety, but true safety is a quality of the spirit, not a brand. Beyond this, there have been whispers, stories from those who work in the quiet hours of the night of a lingering unease. They speak of fleeting shadows in their peripheral vision, of faint sounds in empty aisles, of a coldness in certain areas that defies a simple explanation. These experiences hint at a deeper truth, that a space can become a gathering point for dissonant energies, a portal for a kind of spiritual numbness. When we enter such an environment, our discernment can become clouded. We may cease to notice the subtle negativity, the images that jar the soul, the messages that run counter to a life of mindful awareness. And when our spirit is lulled into complacency, we become more susceptible to influences that do not serve our highest good. Consider now the allure of the stylish and modern emporium, a place so seamlessly integrated into our culture that its influence is often invisible. This is a space that is masterfully designed to be appealing, comfortable, and trendy. It represents a gentle slope, one that is soft underfoot, with no sudden turns to alert us to a change in direction. It is a testament to the idea that the most effective way to lead us astray is to make the path as pleasant as possible. Beneath the polished surfaces and the curated aesthetics, a spiritual compromise can be encouraged. Each time we participate in a system without questioning its deeper intentions, we lend our energy to it. One might argue, I am only there for a simple necessity. But the question we must ask ourselves is more profound. What is the larger story my choices are supporting? What unseen kingdom does my energy help to build? There is a subtle yet potent presence in some of these establishments that goes beyond the corporate mission. It is a vibration that can be felt, a shadow that seems to hang over certain locations, not a physical darkness, but a spiritual one, fueled by a relentless pursuit of the superficial. To enter such a place as a conscious individual requires us to be fully awake, armored in our own inner light, and acutely aware of the energies at play. The great danger is that many of us walk in asleep, and in that state of slumber, we fail to perceive the subtle challenges to our spirit until their effects have taken root. Let us explore the quiet and minimalist store where the branding is unassuming and the atmosphere feels muted. In this space of apparent simplicity, one might expect to find a sense of peace. But we must remember that not all silence is born of holiness. Some silence is a void, an emptiness that masks a more subtle form of influence. Imagine stepping into such a place and feeling an immediate heaviness in your chest, a tightening that has no apparent cause. The store may be sparsely populated, but the energy is not one of serenity. It is sterile, devoid of the warmth of life and the presence of genuine connection. The very anonymity of the products, with their generic and unbranded packaging, can be a mirror for a spiritual tactic. While marketed as a path to savings, this removal of identity can echo a deeper form of oppression. We are not meant to be nameless and faceless beings. Our true nature is one of unique and vibrant expression. There are forces, however, that seek to strip away this individuality, to erase distinction, and to cast everything in a uniform mold. This environment, in its very sterility, can breed a kind of spiritual apathy. It is a place that can numb our senses, discouraging us from feeling, from noticing, from engaging with the world from a place of soulful awareness. When we are passive, we become susceptible. The most insidious work is often done when we believe that nothing of consequence is happening. Now, we must consider the charming and quirky market, a favorite of those who seek a healthier and more conscious lifestyle. It is a place of delightful packaging, friendly faces, and an overall sense of fun. On the surface, it is a haven of wholesome choices. But if we look deeper, we may find a masquerade. The predominant spirit here is one of deception wrapped in delight. The challenge to our spirit does not always come cloaked in darkness. Sometimes it arrives with organic snacks and ethically sourced coffee. The danger lies not just in what is sold, but in the false sense of purity that is cultivated. There is a belief that this is a better place, a more moral choice, but a spiritual lens reveals the subtle cracks in this facade. Ask yourself why you feel an almost enchanting high when you walk through these doors. It is because an enchantment is precisely what has been crafted, a manipulated atmosphere, a false light designed to charm and disarm. There are ancient paths of spiritual power that traverse our world, known to those who study the unseen realms. It is said that some of these stores are strategically placed upon these ley lines, harnessing a natural energy for commercial purposes. While the world sees prime real estate, the spirit realm perceives an opportunity. This represents a gradual drift into spiritual confusion, a blurring of the lines between what is genuinely wholesome and what merely appears to be. To navigate such a space without discernment, without the guidance of our own inner compass, is to risk leaving with more than just our groceries. Finally, let us speak plainly about the corporate behemoth that has made its allegiance clear through its public stances and sponsorships. This is more than a place to buy food. It has become a monument to a corporate culture that often stands in open rebellion against a life of spiritual integrity. Year after year, it aligns itself with movements and symbols that can be seen as a mockery of a righteous path. It has transformed itself from a simple business into a platform, and every platform has a spirit that animates it. There are those who have walked into these stores and have immediately felt a weight of spiritual resistance, an atmosphere so heavy and oppressed that it feels as though the very walls reject the presence of light. Many who work within these spaces have spoken of a pervasive sense of unease, of strange occurrences during the quiet night shifts, of a feeling of being watched when no one is there. But the most significant challenge is what this entity represents on a larger scale: the normalization of spiritual compromise. It subtly teaches us to be quiet, to tolerate what goes against our deepest values, to adapt to a world that is increasingly disconnected from the sacred. The danger is real and present. To support such an institution is to enter into an agreement, knowingly or not, with a network of spiritual dissonance. And in the realm of spirit, our agreements have power. Let me ask you to pause and let this question settle deep within your spirit. What are you truly carrying home with you? You may believe it is simply bread and milk, a meal for your family, a snack for your children. But what if there is more? What if, beneath the colorful packaging and the clever branding, there lies a spiritual imprint? An energy that you did not ask for, but are nonetheless ushering through your front door. What if the very earth that grew your food was tended with a lack of reverence, and the hands that packaged your products were not guided by a spirit of peace? What if the music that fills the air in these stores is not just background noise, but a subtle incantation designed to dull your mind, weaken your discernment, and lure you into a deeper spiritual slumber? You enter with the best of intentions, but intention without discernment can be a perilous path. The forces that oppose our spiritual growth do not always seek to deceive us with grand gestures. They seek to attach themselves to the small unconscious choices we make every day. This is not a call to live in fear. It is a call to live in a state of profound clarity, to awaken to our true nature as warriors of the light. You are not merely a consumer, you are a co-creator of your reality. You carry within you the authority of a centered and awakened consciousness, and every decision you make, even where you choose to shop, either strengthens the kingdom of light within you or lends power to the shadows of unconsciousness. You cannot afford to be casual in a time of great spiritual awakening. You must enter every space not as a distracted shopper, but as a spirit-filled soldier of peace, clothed in righteousness, shielded by truth, and fully alert and aware. Your shopping cart is not a neutral object, it is a vessel, and everything you place within it, you are giving permission to enter your home, your kitchen, your family, and your very being. Therefore, cultivate a practice of infusing every item and every decision with a prayer of gratitude and blessing. As you walk the aisles, let it be a moving meditation. Remain centered in your spirit. Ask for your inner eyes to be opened, to pierce the veil of the ordinary and to reveal what your physical senses cannot perceive. Your home is a sacred space, a holy ground, and what you bring into it matters profoundly. Do not allow objects that carry a heavy energy, products that are spiritually defiled by their creation, or subtle influences, however faint, to take root in your sanctuary. Guard your personal territory with the same fervor that you guard the temple of your heart. The path of least resistance often leads to an invitation for energies that do not serve us. But you, who are on a path of awakening, are called to walk in holiness, in the fire of consciousness, and in the brilliance of your own inner light. Let us close now in a shared intention, a covering of peace, a declaration of clarity, and a shield of light over you and your household. I bow to the divine spark within you, recognizing you as a fellow traveler on this path, redeemed by your own inner truth, chosen by your own soul, and covered by the grace of the universe. I invite you now to awaken your spirit, to sharpen your discernment, and to refuse to be blind to the hidden currents of the world. May you have eyes to see beyond the natural and ears to hear the clear voice of your own inner wisdom. I join you in renouncing any agreements, made knowingly or unknowingly, with energies that are not aligned with your highest good. May our hands be cleansed, our homes be purified, and our lives be cleared of all that has been brought in without spiritual awareness. May a higher guidance direct our steps, showing us where to go, what to acquire, and what to leave behind. Let us never again make decisions based solely on price or convenience, but always on a foundation of truth and righteousness. I extend a blessing over your household, over your pantry, and over every item within your home. May your space be consecrated, filled with your own light, so that no darkness may remain. May any dissonant influences that may have entered through the things you have brought home be now released. They have no right, they have no authority. This home belongs to the light. May you learn to walk in daily communion with your highest self, to hear its promptings, and to obey without delay. Let your life be a testament to holiness, not just in moments of prayer or meditation, but in the way you shop, in the way you live, in every small and hidden choice. Thank you for the authority that is your birthright. You will not live in fear, you will live in victory. Go now, friend, not in fear, but in the fire of your own spirit. Go not in compromise, but in a covenant with your own soul. You are a gatekeeper, you are a guardian, you are a light in this present moment, and you are not alone. Let your inner spirit be your compass, your lamp, and your shield. Let wisdom be your sword, and let your choices, every one of them, even at the grocery store, testify to the truth that you truly serve. Stay vigilant, stay centered, and above all, stay anchored in your own divine essence. Because your home is not just a building, it is holy ground.